Sword and Shield boxes went crazy, and early Scarlet and Violet boxes are pushing up as well. Is everything happening again? Yo, this is Changief, and welcome to Psyduck's Inner Thoughts, episode 7. Woohoo! Now, before we begin, I am an idiot. I don't have any, marketing skills or trades or occupation. I'm just a guy who enjoys cards and that just got in 6 months ago, and I'm still trying to find my way around things, and I'm just learning. So these are my thoughts, and don't follow them. But if I'm right, hell yeah. So if you're new here, this is where I draw some random stuff and talk about my thoughts on what's happening. Mainly talking to myself, because that's just how I get my thoughts in order and learn about stuff. The cycle. Is it happening again so quickly? I returned to the hobby around 6 months ago, which was around October or November 2024. And that was kind of, from what I gathered, was like just slight upwards movement of like a dead market, I guess. And so I kind of got to see everything explode when Surging Spark was released. I saw when I was able to pre-order that thing for like 110 or 114, and then seeing that thing shot up to 160 or MSRP on launch or even higher, and then seeing everyone buying it, and it was also very interesting to see when people were like, oh, things are gonna drop, and then it didn't drop. So there was that situation, but from then on the boom started happening with Surging Sparks and then into Terrestrial Festival. That was kind of like I saw the upward trajectories from there, because from then people were, I was playing catch up, so I was buying like a bit of everything. I was buying like Scarlet and Violet boxes. I was buying some Sword and Shield boxes, very few, because I was really nervous about it. During that time, Evolving Skies went from I think 600 when I started, and it went to 900 I think during those 2 months right before Terrestrial Festival came out. And man, I regret. In hindsight 2020, I should have bought Evolving Skies even at that price, but it was way out of my range when I first joined. Like, I wasn't gonna just jump in this hobby and be like, well, let's spend 600 bucks. It just wasn't gonna happen, right? Especially when I wanted to catch up with other stuff, so I had to like kind of spread my money thin amongst many things. But from then, I don't know when during Surging Sparks and Terrestrial Festivals we saw Sword and Shield boxes make a run. I think it was December, and it was after I think Trump being elected, or during that time when Bitcoin went crazy and everyone was like, oh my god, the market's going crazy. But I know Fusion Strike was leading the charge and shot up, went from 250 or 270 to like 400. And then a bunch of the Sword and Shield boxes followed. Or after that moment when everyone was crazy scrambling, buying like as many Sword and Shield stuff they could find, then a bunch of Scarlet and Violet boxes went up, pushed up by like $10, $20. But everything kind of moved up in a wave. I think the big ones moved. I think a lot of boxes broke the barrier of 100 to a point where they all broke or got close to MSRP. I think the weaker ones didn't yet. I think this also came when everyone was like using the stock tracker to like, hey, Pokemon Center only has 1,000 of these boxes left. Or it was like Silver Tempest, like they only have like 1,000 of these boxes left, and then people were buying them depending on that. And then after that, when all the Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet boxes went crazy, we started seeing a bunch of single buyouts for illustration rares, and just any card, but mainly the illustration rares got the most love from these buyouts. There's just buyouts everywhere. There was like a good few months of like end of December, January, early February, where we would see would just be everyone making videos of top 5 cards to go crazy. These buyouts are ruining the Pokemon hobby, or like be careful, these buyouts are gonna destroy you. That was like the video of the month. There was so many of those. So that craze happened, and then we went through a phase of everything kind of cooling down. A lot of prices retracing. Sealed retraced a little bit, and during that time was just a lot of people like complaining not having enough product. What can we do? We can't get anything. We can't open anything. This was, I think, during the release of Prismatic Evolutions, was the peak. Everyone was like everyone knew was in Pokemon. They wanted to get this, they wanted to get that. So many new people. So sales were really good too. Shows were packed. Oh, this was the month before, during the craze. Sorry. And then during the cooldown period, there were still a lot of people at shows. From what I've seen, shows were still going strong. But a lot of people ignore the kind of like the internet market space. It was funny because like people would go to shows and they would be enjoying it. People would be buying cards, trading, selling, doing all that stuff. And then people online would be just drama videos, crying, can't get this, or like scalpers are bad, this market investors bad, you know, people don't understand. Like all those videos were happening on the same time as people just going to shows would be like, oh my god, I love Pokemon. But a lot of us did slow down buying cards because we didn't want the retrace to affect us that much. So during that time, there was like a good 1 to a month and a half where everything cooled down. eBay sales were getting super low, which I noticed when I was selling my Master Balls. I was like, hey, I'm starting to lose money now on these, and not a lot of people are bidding on these stuffs compared to like before. So I pulled a lot of my stock back, or like changed it to buy nows. And then during this time, I think during the end of April and then early May, this was like right before they had announced like, this is the Mayhem, TGC Players Mayhem Friday, like 1 or 2 weeks ago. I started seeing a lot of, before I was seeing a lot of people make YouTube videos of being like, hey, Scarlet and Violet boxes are 200 or 250. Don't buy Surging Sparks at 250 or Prismatic at 200. You should be buying, you know, these Sword and Shield boxes. So there was that group of people moving on that. And then the other half of people were hyper focused on modern and new sets and all that kind of stuff. And then come to end of April, early May, all of a sudden there was a huge push on Fusion Strike yet again. It went from 400 to 700, 800. I don't know exact prices today. You know, that push led to like LO, other Swords for Brilliant Stars went up from 250 to 3 to 400. Astral Radiance went for a crazy push. So a lot of Sword and Shield boxes were getting removed from the market because people were just buying it, and then you saw the videos of like, oh, Sword and Shield's going crazy, we told you so, etc, etc. After that push, we saw a bunch of people move to, or ask, or speculate on Scarlet and Violet 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, I'm not sure, or maybe 6 too. But they're like, oh, these are probably not likely to get reprints, and these are now underpriced because of how a bunch of Scarlet and Violet, how a bunch of Sword and Shield boxes, which were actually pretty underpriced compared to Scarlet and Violet, moving up to a price correction. So a lot of people were pushing the prices of 1 through 4 up higher as well. So I'm just thinking that what's gonna happen next? Is it gonna repeat the cycle so soon where it's like it's gonna push illustration rares? There's gonna be a ton of I'm just thinking, what's gonna happen next? Are illustration rares gonna be bought out again? Is there gonna be another push for singles, or are people gonna move to something else? Because I remember hearing a lot of Poketubers and investor tubers or market tubers talk about like how cycles repeat itself, but it's like, I don't know what the saying is, but it's slightly different. It's not exactly the same. There's 2 ways I can see that it can be different. One is the buyouts are going to be different cards. It's going to be like maybe Altards, because Altards didn't move that much compared to illustration rares. Or things are going to move a lot faster because people know now. Like the cycle was only 6 months away, or the first cycle was already 6 months ago. That's not a long time for people to forget. So people are going to be, you're going to see all the cycles happening, but extremely fast. Like the last cycle was like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 months in total for things to happen. Maybe this cycle takes like 2 months before people crash out again. The reason why I think it's going to happen quicker and have a harder drop is because I think the people who are still in, who haven't already fled because they're like, I can't buy anything, I don't want to deal with this market, stuff like that. I think the people who are still here have already been hurt, and they know like, hey, this can drop, so I'm gonna buy the stuff. I'm gonna see if I see any sort of sign of things being pushed up, I'm gonna sell, and then I'm gonna sell before it drops, essentially. And also, I'm talking about singles. Sealed is like a whole nother beast. Sealed is just gonna keep on pushing up. I don't see a drop, at least for Sword and Shield, anytime soon. But it's also like, I don't know. I haven't been through like a huge crash. So far, a lot of my negative experiences since coming through this hobby has been just not being able to buy stuff at prices I want. And the other bad is like just, you know, dealing with the scammers and people trying to, you know, slide their way to better deals or sneak or just essentially scamming you for stuff. So yeah, so I haven't gone through the experience of the big crash like how people talk about, like the 2021 crash or something where all the boxes were $80 to $90. So I don't know that experience. I guess I'm interested to experience that or learn that, but I'm also like, maybe I don't want to experience that. I'll just have to take the old heads, you know, their experience with it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the cycle and then how I'd see it could go in the future. But yeah, so what I'm doing, I guess, with this speculation, Catch 'em All Collectibles says like, you gotta walk the walk. I'm just buying a few illustration rares just to fluff up my stock a bit more. I'm not going crazy because I'm just not doing a more risky play because I bought a lot of my stuff during the whole initial illustration rare push, and I was just buying it at like a lot of the price retraced to where I bought the prices at, so I'm okay with it. As for boxes, I'm gonna be focusing on Sword and Shield from now on. I don't think I'm gonna be buying a ton. I think I'm just gonna be buying. I just think I just want to buy like a Fusion Strike if another retrace happens. I'm just gonna pin Evolving Skies up to. I missed it. I missed it, and it's just gonna be gone because I am trying to move from investing to a more active selling thing, and just to try to make more money in the now versus sitting on stuff to be like, okay, I can make money 5 years in the future. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me and my thoughts, and me, myself, and me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this disgusting art I drew. Yeah, thanks. We'll see what's coming up next.